Everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited today. I know I say that a lot, but we are going to introduce you to all sorts of delicious things today, or at least that's what I think. So we are making speculoos cheesecake squares, which if you don't know what speculoos are, because I didn't until I looked at it, you know these delicious cookies. That's what a speculoos is. So yeah, we are going to put these in a cheesecake and it's going to be awesome. So lots of good things today. So we're going to actually make the base of the cheesecake itself with these cookies. So I've already got my oven preheating. It's going to 180 degrees Celsius or 355 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to start making the biscuit base. So I've got all my cookies already unwrapped and ready to go. I'm going to crush them up. I mean, you could use a plastic bag and like a rolling pin. I have a little food processor thing that I'm going to utilize. I just can't fit it all at one time. So I'm going to do a couple chunks and get them into a fine crumble, fine crumb as it says. And then we'll make the base with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those in here. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, so now we have our caramelized biscuits all ground up. That was 200. There's my oven. It's ready to go. It's 250 grams of the caramelized biscuits. Yeah. So I don't know if I said that a minute ago. Anyway, and then I have 85 grams of unsalted butter. I've melted it down, and we're going to add that to our biscuits so we can form our biscuit base. I already have my tin lined and ready to go. You can see it right back here. It is a 20 by 30 centimeters or a 9. What is it? I've had so many measurements in my head, I don't even remember which ones the English ones are anymore. 9 by 13 pan. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit and then I'm going to press it into my pan so that it is firm. Spread level and using the flat base of a glass or a mug, press into a firm layer. I'm going to make sure to do this really good too because I really kind of messed myself over with the granola bars when I didn't press down hard enough. So my pan ready to go, and so I'm going to put these in here. I love the smell of these cookies. I don't know which airline it was that used to give these out. I don't think they do anymore. I haven't flown a whole lot in recent years. Having toddlers will kind of do that to you. But anyway, so I think it was Delta. Was it Delta that used to hand these out? That was the first time I ever remember tasting these cookies, and they were so good. I don't need that peanut or pretzel bag. Give me these cookies any day. Okay, so there, it's kind of in a even layer, and so I'm just going to press. I've got a nice flat bottom glass here, and I'm just going to press really good to make sure that it is ready to bake. And like I said, my oven is at 355 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, and that is looking awesome. Okay, that looks pretty firm. And we are just going to bake this for 5 minutes, just until it starts to firm up and turn crisp. All right, it's been 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, look at that. Looking very tasty. Okay, so I just need to leave this to cool for a little bit while I make the cheesecake part. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then I'm going to reduce my oven to 170 degrees Celsius, which is about 330. I didn't write that one down, but it's in there. I'll double check here in just a minute. Cheesecake, ready to go. I got to use my mixer for this part. So we've got 600 grams of full fat cream cheese, all the good stuff. Let me make sure it's in your view here. And then I'm going to beat the cream cheese until smooth. That's easy enough. Okay, that's pretty smooth. I do need to add my caster sugar and my speculoos butter. Just wait just a second here. All right, so I've got 125 grams of caster sugar. I'm just going to add right in. And then if you have not discovered this stuff, you're missing out. Okay, if you like peanut butter, if you like Nutella, you'll love this. So it's just like the butter form of the cookies we already ground up. So I have 3 tablespoons of that delicious buttery cookie. It's like, I mean, it literally tastes like the cookies. So if you like the cookies and you like Nutella, go try it. It's in the peanut butter aisle in your local grocery store, Walmart, whatever. It's there. Most likely. If it is in mine, it's probably in yours. Okay. And then I just need to mix again for 1 minute. Okay, that's looking really, really good. I like how the cookie butter kind of made it slightly caramel colored. That's just, it's a win in my book. Okay. Now that we've got that all mixed, I'm just trying to scrape the bowl a little bit so the next time I mix it, it gets everything incorporated. But we have to add eggs. Okay, so we have 3 eggs in today's recipe. So I've got them seated, and I'm just supposed to add them one at a time. And that is why you always break them into a bowl before you add them into your mix, because I had a shell in there, but I got it out real fast. All right, so I'm just going to add my egg in and then beat a little bit in between each, beating well between each addition. So 3 eggs. Okay, those eggs just gave this the most delicious, shiny looking look. I mean, look at that. That's just gorgeous. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I know I say that a lot, but I don't know what else to say when I'm ready to move on. Anyway, I have to add, there's a little bit of instant espresso in here, which is curious. So I have, there it is, 2 teaspoons of instant espresso, which you can find in the baking aisle. That I was not aware of. I need to add 1 teaspoon of just boiled water. So I have, you can probably see the steam coming off of it. Some water in here, and I'm just going to get a teaspoon out of that. And just, I don't know. It's not really enough water to dissolve all of it, but it does give it, I'll put it over here, kind of a rich and creamy look to it. All right, so I'm going to add this along with, so what did I say? 2 teaspoons of instant espresso powder dissolved in 1 teaspoon of water. Okay, and then I've got 150 milliliters of soured cream, which it's not quite two-thirds of a cup. So I guess that's why we use milliliters. And also 1 tablespoon of corn flour, which I just think is an interesting addition. I mean, corn flour. Why corn flour? Anyway, and then I need to beat until smooth. Okay, that's looking deliciously smooth to me. Yeah, that looks awesome. All right. Now I do need to reserve 2 tablespoons of this mix for later, and you'll see in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to take just 2 tablespoons out. Probably doesn't need to be an exact 2 tablespoons. Okay, so I've got that reserved. And then I'm going to put the rest of this in my prepared lined baking tin. Now I know I joked earlier in my videos about like, why would you line a tin? Why would you grease it and then line it? And so the first couple of videos I really didn't do it because why would you do that? And I figured out that you do it so that you could, you know, keep the paper in place, which makes complete sense. So I've started greasing and then lining my paper because it does make it a little easier. But begrudgingly. No, I'm just kidding. I do it. It's fine. All right. I want you guys to be able to see. So let me move some of this. All right. Pan's cool enough to touch. That's good to know. And then I'm just going to put it in my tin. Oh, that looks so good. All right, let's get that leveled off a little. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about making it completely level because that's what the next part is going to kind of help us do. So now I'm going to combine my 2 tablespoons of reserved cheesecake mix with another spoonful or another tablespoon of sour cream. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this one because I've run out of tablespoons that are clean. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, and my biscuit spread. So I have 2 tablespoons more of that delicious cookie butter stuff. So I'm going to get that in here as well. So what we're doing is just making like a delicious topping to swirl through the cheesecake. So I'm going to mix this until smooth, it says. And the cookie butter is really what's not smooth. It's peanut butter, basically, that texture. So we just need to get it smoothened out with the sour cream. Ooh, that looks good. It's not quite as big of a color contrast as I was thinking it would be, but that's okay. It doesn't really need to be. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon it into a piping bag. Again, I like to buy these so they're disposable. I'm finding I use them more and more though now, so maybe I need to invest in some. All right, got that in there. And it says you're supposed to have a medium plain nozzle. I don't like to use the nozzles if I'm just using them plain, so I'm just going to cut it to about a medium. All right, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of swirl this in here, just making fun whatever patterns. It really doesn't matter because we're going to kind of marble it in anyway. I'm just trying to spread it out pretty decent. And get it all in there because it's going to be so delicious. Unless I screw up here and bake it too much. All right. Now I'm just going to use a palette knife just to kind of marble it in there a little. Feel free to marble or not as much as you like. I kind of like the marbled look. And like the bagels, we marbled those. Not maybe on purpose for those. I don't know, I'm probably mixing it too much. I'll do a little bit of that. Okay, there we go. So now we are ready to bake our cheesecake. I did look, 335 degrees Fahrenheit is more 170 degrees Celsius. So we are ready to put this in. I'm just going to double check. Lightly marble, then tap, just to get some of the air bubbles out, I guess. And then we're going to bake on the middle shelf for 30 minutes until the cheesecake has set. All right, 30 minutes. 30 minutes have passed. I do believe they are done, or it is done. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, I'm just gonna, it is set, like it's, I mean, it's still kind of jiggly, but it's firm. Okay, so now the biggest issue here is that I have to leave it to cool to room temperature, and then I have to put it in the fridge for 2 hours, at least 2 hours. So I've got a long time yet before I actually get to cut into this one. But then when I've got it chilled for 2 hours, you can cut it any way you want, squares, fingers, whatever, and then eat at your desire. But I do need to let this cool and then put it in the fridge. So I'll see you in 2.5 hours or so. Okay, it's been, I think, more about 3 hours because it took a little longer for them to cool on the counter to room temperature than I was anticipating. But they are all done. I've got them all cut up. They look really good. I'm going to try to give you a look at the layers there of the cookie crumb, the cookie base, and then also the cheesecake, and then, you know, that topper that we did with a little bit more of the cookie butter in it. So they look really good. They smell really good. Let's give it a try. It's a really light texture, which is awesome. Just, you know, very good cheesecake. I like that cookie base. It's really good. It doesn't, like, it's not overly thick, so that's nice that you don't have to like bite through it so hard. It's a really good little cookie bar, and it, you know, it stays together really well. So you could, I mean, you could eat it with a fork if you want to, but you don't have to. Very good Biscoff cookie flavor, or Speculoos, if I'm saying that right. Maybe it's Speculoos. I will be making these again. They're very good. If you like cheesecake and you like cookies, you're going to love this. But anyway, it took about, you know, 30 minutes or so to put together, and then, you know, you just have to chill it for 2 hours. So right on with the hands-on, it says. And that is the latest bake from my Love to Bake cookbook. If you liked this video, awesome. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We have lots of good videos out there for you to watch. And, you know, I'm having a lot of fun making these, so I hope you're enjoying watching them. So go ahead and take a look at some of the other videos. There's lots out there. And I will see you next bake.